Salt Lake City, Utah. On an August night in 1980, 4 youths walked through Liberty Park enjoying the last days of their summer. 20-year-old Ted Fields and 18-year-old David Martin had just finished choir practice. Terry Elrod had just begun dating David a few weeks earlier and had set up her friend Karma Ingersoll with Ted. This was their first date. The four had met to jog in the park, but decided to walk and talk instead. They were too preoccupied with each other to notice a man watching them through the scope of his rifle. When David Martin dropped to his knees, the others thought he was joking. Then Terry felt something sting her arm, and she knew he was deadly serious. Ted told the girls to take cover while he tried to help his friend. Then he too was shot down. Police and rescue units raced to the scene. David Martin, barely alive, was rushed to the hospital, but died hours later of 3 gunshot wounds. Ted Fields, the son of a police chaplain, was dead. Witnesses told police they heard shots coming from an abandoned building across the street. But no one saw the shots fired, and no one saw the gunman. Detectives spoke with Terry Elrod at the nearby trauma center where she was being treated for her wound. She was still badly shaken, but told investigators what she could recall. When she and her friends reached the intersection, she thought she heard firecrackers. David crumpled and she felt a sting on her arm. She saw blood, then realized that David was seriously wounded. As she told her story, she recalled something that had happened a few minutes before the shooting. The group was almost hit by a car traveling the wrong way down a one-way street. But she could not identify the make, model, or license plate, and she never saw the driver. Salt Lake City Detective Don Bell didn't know why the youths were targeted.
These were young boys. They'd never been in trouble with the police. We didn't have an outstanding motive. We didn't know whether it was something related to the girls, whether something related to the boys, or just a case of mistaken identity.
In the morning, police returned to the crime scene to conduct a more thorough search. In a field across from the park, police found tire tracks. Technicians photographed and measured them. Close to the tracks, police recovered 6 bullet casings. Witnesses said they had heard the gunfire coming from the abandoned building. Now detectives believed that what they heard were the echoes. The shooter had apparently hidden in the bushes, lying in wait for the foursome to walk into range. Police matched the casings to the bullets that killed the 2 young men. They sent the evidence to the FBI ballistics lab in Washington, D.C. to determine the type of gun the assassin used. That would take time. Investigators tried to find other leads to the killer's identity. Bell started with the family members of the victims. In particular, Terry Elrod's father seemed like a possible suspect. Teach Elrod led an outlaw biker gang and was upset that Terry was dating a black man. Detectives spent 3 days tracking him down.
So where have you been? Hanging out.
When they found him, he agreed to come in for questioning. Investigators were very thorough with him. He said he'd been on a whitewater rafting trip and that friends could back up his story.
What? I did it?
Just have
I
a
did
seat.
it?
Just have a
What
seat.
am I, under arrest or something?
Detectives weren't convinced. They demanded Elrod take a polygraph test.
Find out right now. Have a seat.
He would pass, and his alibi was corroborated. Police had no more suspects. They returned to the Liberty Park crime scene to canvass the neighborhood. One resident, Gary Spicer, told investigators he had seen something suspicious earlier that evening. A car had parked close to his home, and he went out to investigate.
Hey! Yo, buddy!
He saw a man packing
Yo, man,
or
what are you doing
unpacking
here?
something in the trunk.
What are you doing? What are you doing in my neighborhood?
Spicer asked what he was doing, but the stranger simply shut the trunk and drove away.